Hi, our last session, WBS and activities. So in our last session, we learned how to add WBS and activities in Primavera. So we know how to do that. Now, how we will get the data for WBS? It's already discussed in our project creation session. We need to collect data. Now for creating WBS, from where we will collect data? There are many ways. If we have a client and if our client has some schedule, if they are willing to share that schedule with us, we can follow their WBS structure. We can copy paste their WBS or we can take their WBS structure and we can modify in our own way. That's one method. Then we can use the BOQ document structure. For every month end, there will be billing or invoicing for our project. For billing or invoicing, there is already a format. Using that format, we usually bill or invoice. So we can use that one. When we study the contract document, the BOQ, we know what's that breakdown. So we can use our client schedule, we can use our billing format or the BOQ format. Then we can discuss with our project people. Look, when we start creating a schedule, we can discuss with our project people. We can arrange a meeting and finalize the WBS structure. Then we can use that one. So that's another method. Next is we can create WBS structure with our own experience. Initially, we will study all the project documents, right? The contract documents, BOQ, everything. Then site visit. After all this, we will get an idea what's our project. So using that idea, we can create our own WBS structure. Now suppose we didn't get any help. The only knowledge we got is from the project documents, the contract drawings and all. You can make your own WBS structure using the knowledge you acquired from those documents, and you can submit this WBS structure to your superior, to your boss for review. Now what they will do, they will review the document. If there is any mistake, they will comment. In projects, everyone likes to comment. Okay. Now when you go to someone, don't go with the hard copy. The official method is always mail. In projects, always communicate using mails. Then what happens is it will record that event. Means if we are giving some document to someone for reviewing or commenting, if we are sending it through mail, means it's recorded there. No one can deny that later. If you are giving by hand or by verbal or by hard copy, means they can always deny. There is no record. They can deny later. So in projects, always communicate using mails, emails. So it's officially recorded, and later also you can use those recording. Okay. For creating WBS, we can use all these methods. You can use client schedule. You can use your contract document. You can use the BOQ. Then you can arrange a meeting with your project team. In that meeting, you can finalize the WBS structure. So many methods are there. Usually in projects, we use these methods. And if we are an experienced person, it's again easy for us to make because we already have experience how to make it. Now, if you are a fresher, you can start with these methods. Now, talking about the WBS ID. For WBS ID, you can follow the same IDs used in your billing document or the BOQ document or the invoicing document. So that's one method. If it's not necessary to follow those official IDs like invoicing IDs or BOQ IDs, then you can create your own WBS ID. Okay. Now, when you create the WBS or activities, the main thing you should remember is you should always cover the scope of your project. You should thoroughly study your contract document, your BOQ. All those should be covered in your schedule. Okay, that's an important thing. You should not miss anything. All your scope should be included in your schedule through WBS or activities in whatever way. Now that's all about WBS. So next is activities. Activities also, data collection is same as WBS. We can collect activity data using all those methods same as WBS. Look, in activities what happens is there are too many repeating activities. Now suppose a schedule contains like 1000 activities. All those 1000 activities are not unique. Many of the activities are repeating. If you know the repeating activities, your schedule making process will be easy. Let's take an example. If we want to weld a pipe, a mechanical activity, for welding a pipe, there are a series of activities. First, you need to purchase, then transport, then fit up, then welding, some testing. There are some series of activities there, and these activities are common for every welding activity. When you make a schedule, wherever welding comes, you can copy paste all these activities there. And for civil also same. Suppose you want to make a foundation. So for making a foundation, there are a series of activities which will give you that end result, the foundation. First you need to select an area, then clean the area, then you need to excavate, then concreting is involved, curing is involved. So those series of steps are common in every foundation building process. So you can just copy paste those all activities to wherever it's needed. So like that, when we make schedules, there are too many repeating activities. If we know those repeating activities, our schedule making process will be more easy than the data collecting part. For collecting the data for entering activities in Primavera, we need to study the contract document, BOQ, the client schedule. We need to discuss with site persons. When discuss with site persons, also we get too many ideas about this one. You can talk with the supervisor, site engineer. They know more detail about the activities. Then about activity ID. If you need to follow billing ID format or the BOQ ID format, you need to follow that. If there is no need for following that one, you can create your own IDs. Primavera automatically creates some IDs there. Okay, you can follow that, or you can create your own IDs. Whenever you create IDs, try to give gap between them. For example, let's say the first activity number is 10. Second should be 15 or 20. Then follow the same sequence, 10, 15, 20, like that. The benefit of that is, in every schedule making process, later you need to add activities in between. At that time, you can easily insert activities. For example, you made 3 activities, 10, 15, 20. 3 activities are there, activity IDs. You need to insert one activity extra between 10 and 15. Create an activity ID 11 or 12 or 13, whatever you need, then you can insert. If you are creating the activity IDs like 10, 11, 12, then you need to insert an activity between 10 and 11. It is difficult. It's not difficult. You can enter it as 10A, 10B, but when you print that one, it doesn't look good in that method. So whenever you create any IDs in Primavera, it may be activity ID, WBS ID, or any ID, try to give gap. Then you can easily insert IDs in between them. Next thing you need to know when you create WBS and activities is levels. There are 4 levels. Level 1, level 2, level 3 level. We say it as L1, L2, L3, L4 schedule. When someone says L4 schedule, it means that schedule should contain maximum details. Activities should break down to its bottom level, and those activities should be resource and cost loaded. Bottom level breakdown means, for example, an activity excavation. We need to excavate 1000 meter square area. We can create one activity saying excavation 1000 meter square, or we can say excavation first, like excavation 500 meter square, then excavation 500 meter square. We divide it into 2. Again, we can divide it into 4. Excavation 250 meter square, 250 meter square, 250 meter. I like that. It's again divided into 4. That's what we call the breakdown. Okay. If we are saying about mechanical activities, for example, welding, we need to weld 1000 inch dia. We can create one activity like welding 1000 inch dia, or we can create 2 activities, welding 500 inch dia, 500 inch dia, like that. Whenever you break down activities, it will be easy for us to track during the execution stage. In projects, if someone is saying we should make a level 4 schedule, means you should break down activities to the bottom level, and those should be resource and cost loaded. Now level 3 schedule means we don't need that much details as level 4 schedule. Level 2 schedule means we don't need that much details as level 3 schedule. And level 1 means it just like summary, like project title, then WBS only, like that. In every project, these levels are defined in different ways. You can just Google about levels, schedule levels. You will find some official documents. In my experience, in projects, there is no rules for these levels. In every project, the client will define the level. They will say level 4 schedule means this, level 3 schedule means this. But you should know about these levels. You can try to understand more about levels by Googling. In some projects, these level words like level 4 schedule, level 3 schedule, these words are used, and in some projects these are not used. We just create the schedule. So that's about levels. Now when we create the WBS and activities, it's a time taking process. For speeding up that process, if we know the repeating WBS or activities, we can simply copy paste. By that method, we can reduce some typing. If we don't know these repeating activities, we need to type every WBS and every activities. Then we can use the Excel import method also, which we will learn in the upcoming sessions. If we have the activity list in Excel, we can import all those activities to Primavera. WBS also we can do the same, but normally WBS we will directly enter in Primavera. I usually use Excel importing method for creating activities in Primavera. First I will create the list of activities in Excel, then I import all those activities to Primavera. Using that method we will save a lot of time. How to do Excel import and all we will learn in upcoming sessions. These are the methods for speeding up your work, by copy pasting and by Excel importing method. Okay, so that's all about WBS and activities. See you in next session.